This is Althea Jackson. Welcome to Metro Matters. I will be your host for the next 30 minutes. Metro Matters is a radio program with helpful information and resources provided by Louisville Metro government. A variety of discussion topics, tips, tools, and resources. During the last half of the show, we invite listeners to call in to discuss the topic of the day with our featured guest. Welcome to Metro Matters. Today, I have representatives from Louisville Metro Emergency Services. And for those that don't know, EMS, I should say, is one of a very important agency of Louisville Metro government. And so Representatives Corey Stein and Carmelita Thomason, am I pronouncing the last name correctly?
Yes, spelled first and last name. I think that's a first.
Perfect. So, welcome to the show today. But before we get started, I want to say to our listeners, we are all calling in, so we're all remote. And so please bear with us if we have any technical difficulties. Just bear with us because we are calling into the show. But we've got a great show for you today. So we want to bring to you everything that Metro Safe and Metro Emergency Services has to offer. So, Carmen, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi. So, yes, I usually go by Carmen because most people slaughter Carmelita. I have worked here for Louisville Metro for just a little over 17 years now. I did work for about 2 years prior to at another agency before I came here. I came here when they had the merger of the county and the city services. And
so you've been with EMS for 17 years. Is that correct?
Correct. For the city, about 19 total.
Oh, okay. So you've seen some changes in your 19 years. And I'll talk to you about that a little later. Let's bring Corey in. And Corey, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your service. You're with Metro Safe. So talk a little bit about what Metro Safe is and talk a little bit about how long you've been with Metro Safe.
My name is Corey, and I've worked at Metro Safe now for it'll be 7 years this May. We dispatch and take all the 911 calls for the city. We dispatch all three, police, fire, and EMS. So I talk to Carmen quite a bit myself when we're working. I've been at this agency for 7 years. I worked in hospitals prior to that. So I've worked in some sort of emergency services related capacity for about 14 years now. And it's been definitely a rewarding experience.
I can imagine. So talk a little bit about what is Metro Safe. Let's kind of unpack what it really is.
So Metro Safe handles all the communications for all the emergency services within the Jefferson County and Metro Louisville. We dispatch for all of Louisville Metro Police, and then we also dispatch for all the fire services and all the EMS services within the county. We take 911 calls from the public and also non-emergency calls from the public, which you can use at 574-2111 if you ever need us. And we just make sure that if anybody is having some sort of emergency, we're the first responder to talk to you and to guide you to what you need. We're an agency with multiple people. We talk to multiple agencies around. Also, emergency management agencies, should there ever be a higher level of response needed. We're talking like, FEMA-related issues and Kentucky emergency management issues. So we just kind of a catch-all for everything that the city needs in an emergency situation.
So, Carmen, tell us what is EMS, and how do you guys serve the public, I guess I should say?
Okay, EMS stands for Emergency Medical Services. Typically, we are your guys in the ambulances. We also have a couple fly cars that run around too. Whenever a call for service comes in, other dispatchers, call takers like Corey, will pipe us up, call us, and advise us where we're going. Typically, these are calls for service that are emergency-based, either a car wreck, somebody who's sick at the house, man down. Typically, we get a little narrative of what we're headed to. Sometimes we don't know what we're going into. We'll get an address. We head there to provide any life-saving measures if needed.
So what made you want to become a first responder? Because you said you worked at another agency before you came, you started to work for EMS. What made you want to switch? Was it a switch in careers, or did you work for EMS at a different for a different city?
So if we want to rewind even further, I in high school participated in West Mutual's Police Department program, Explorer program. I also was a junior ROTC for the Marine Corps for Fern Creek. I thought for the longest that I was going to be a MP. I wanted to be a police officer. So I started there. While doing that time throughout high school with them, I always just found myself more drawn to the medical runs. So I started inquiring about, hey, I felt like I was just kind of standing there. I really didn't. The police side just, I guess, didn't attract me like the being able to help somebody. So I started inquiring about how to become an EMT, which is usually the first step before you become a paramedic. And once I got to asking around, I started with a private agency just to get my feet wet to see if I liked it, and I have been in EMS ever since.
What does your day look like?
Oh, well, when I get here in the morning, we got to get our truck together, make sure we have all of our gear. Gear typically that we take with us, life pack, a bag that we have, medications that if we have to administer for, say, a cardiac arrest or overdoses. So we'll have a medication bag that we take. We have a Lucas device that also helps us in the event of a cardiac arrest where we would need CPR. So once our gear's together, we come out to the streets, and pretty much once you hit that available button, you are at dispatch's mercy, and they call quite a bit here in the city. But you can go, and this is what I've always said that I've loved about this job. There's no two calls that are the same. You can go from something that is like a cardiac arrest, where you're helping the family, talking to the family, walking them through the next process of how to say goodbye to their loved one. To the next run, you could be giggling and laughing, say with somebody who just had a minor accident, a scooter wreck, and they just think it's funny. And so you never know what you're rolling into. It can be super emergent, or it can be something as simple as a misunderstanding and somebody called 911.
Oh, wow. So, and I guess this is for both of you. Is Metro Safe or EMS, or either one of your areas, are you guys hiring? So is that something we can plug today?
Yeah, I think we're both hiring. I think Carmen would agree. We both are always looking for new people to join us and help out. It's a very, at least on my side, I can speak for my department, you can make the job how you want it to be. You can, make a very nice living at it, and it's always exciting, always something new, never 2 days the same. And so I'll let Carmen answer as far as EMS goes, but for Metro Safe, it's definitely good.
So as far as EMS goes, yes, we are hiring. We are always hiring, always willing to take in anybody, even if you don't have experience, to people with as many years as myself. We now offer an academy where people, so to rewind, when I was looking into this field, I had the Explorers program through high school, but after that, there was nothing. You had to hunt down a program to enter to become an EMT and then to become a paramedic. Well, Louisville Metro has taken that step out and made it a lot easier for any person looking for an opportunity to join this field. EMS, along with fire and police, also do academies. We're doing one now. I believe this is the 14th one that we've put through, where we will bring you in, teach you how to be an emergency medical technician. And we'll also take you out into the field and do field training for quite some time before you're allowed to go on your own. But we're always hiring, and if you are looking into it and don't know how to find the job or what it entails, you can always contact Louisville Metro EMS or even on the Louisville Metro page, and there's a detailed summary there and how to sign up to get into the next academy.
That sounds exciting. And before we take a break, what do you know what the exact qualifications are to become a paramedic or work with EMS? Because I'm sure there are other, or no, I'm not sure, but I guess I should rephrase that and say, are there other positions available if you don't want to be an actual paramedic, but you may want to work for EMS?
So to be an EMT, like I said, we'll put you to the academy, or if you've already, we have people that are lateral that transfer from other cities, states that come over. Mm-hmm. If you wish to just remain at that level, you can. We also have advanced EMTs, which will do just a little bit more than the emergency medical technician. Those guys have a little bit broader of a skill set. Mm-hmm. And if you like, you can hang there. Or you can go to the third, which is the paramedic. And the paramedic training is typically about a 2-year further program, being because it's 2 years and it's pretty hard to work and go to paramedic school. A lot of people don't tend to go that route. If you choose and you get in here and you decide, the streets are not for me, there are other internal positions that we've had people go to with fleet or supply. So there's a few limited other spots that you can do on the inside, but for the most part, when people come out, they tend to really like it and they hang out here. Mm-hmm.
If you like the inside, you can always come work for us. We have quite a bit of positions here too. And there's also, I think they still have a incentive bonus for both departments right now, public safety incentive bonus. And we also have an 8-week training course, and then you'll sit with either a call taker or a dispatcher, depending on what job you want, and we'll train you in-job training that you get paid for the whole time.
Wow. And because Metro Safe is 24/7, correct?
Yeah, both actually. Her agency and our agency are both 24/7. 365 days a year, including Derby.
Wow.
Derby and holidays.
Yes.
So let's take a quick break. And Corey, when we come back, I want to continue talking about the 911 center, and I think and when should residents call, and when they when they maybe shouldn't call 911, but maybe should do something differently. So let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the 911 center. And so we're going to take a brief break, and
when
we return, we're going to open
to
up
help
the
prevent
phone
the
line.
Spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone. Connect with your friends. Stay in touch with your community. and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This is Althea Jackson, your host for Metro Matters. Metro Matters is a radio program with helpful information and resources provided by Louisville Metro government. Listen for Metro Matters every Wednesday from 2 until 2:30.
Welcome back. If you have questions about Metro's emergency services or our Metro Safe, give us a call at 571-1240. Again, that's 571-1240. So, Corey, before we went on break, we had started to talk about the 911 center, and it operates 24/7. And so talk a little bit about when residents should call the 911 number.
Well, anytime someone feels like there is an emergency, we would like you to call 911, but we'd love for everyone to kind of know that we also have a non-emergency number for things that are non-emergent, things that are suspicious to you or things you think are out of place, and that's 502-574-2111. That's 574-2111. That gets the dispatch center as well, but it lets us know that it's not, you don't think it's quite an emergency. Now, if you've been involved in an accident and you think you need an ambulance or you just need to, report things, like crimes you see that are, happening right now, you can call 911. If you just want to report, say, there's an abandoned vehicle on your street, you can actually call 311, which is also a service under the Emergency Management Agency that we also other people's staff, but we do take calls from them as well. And that's more of a non-emergency field that you can call. But we get, for instance, we've had coworkers deliver babies over the phone on 911. So, we'll take those emergencies as well. We actually had one recently that delivered the baby over the phone, and then fire department got there to assist with EMS. So, like I said, never a dull day. But, yeah, if you feel it's an emergency, call 911. And if you, even if you're questioning it, always feel free.
And so with the 911 center, and if someone is interested in getting a job with the 911 center with Metro Safe, what does a typical day, what would a schedule look like for them? Well, let's talk about your schedule. What does your schedule look like?
So we typically work 12-hour shifts. You're on a rotating schedule, so every 2 weeks you have the same schedule as long as you want to keep that schedule. My schedule, I work 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You work 3 days one week, 4 days the next week. It's really nice when you have 15 days off a month. Those 15 days you work are going to be, you're going to definitely earn your keep, but it allows for time off that, through the week and weekends. That's very, very nice. We have rotating schedules, so we have a rotation and a B rotation. I think EMS works similar to us. Every 4 hours, somebody new starts. So, like at 2 o'clock, we'll have a new group that comes in, and 6 p.m., a new group also. So, if you need to work third shift, we have that. If you want to work first shift, that can be available, should you choose. But right now, I work kind of a middle shift, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So, that seems to be, and this is to both of you, what you do seems to be, for me, looking from the outside to the inside, it looks like it would be a very stressful job. So how do you relax, and how do you unwind on your days off?
Well, I have a new child at home, so there's not much unwinding right now. But maybe Karen can answer that a little better right now.
I will honestly say not every day is not. It's not always stressful. There are times that you show up and it went from sneaking mile to now we're ramped, and we have a couple runs like that back to back. So at work, it is kind of hard to unwind. If we have a difficult run, we typically like to do like a little debriefing where we'll talk about it afterwards. On off days, when I'm not here, I make the most of my time away from here, so I'm a busybody outdoorsy. Anything from the chicken coop to kayaking to mountain biking, I try to clear my mind with staying far away when I don't have to be here. Not too much.
It's definitely better to switch off. It's definitely better to switch off when you're not here.
Yeah. And it also kind of helps with me, too. My husband is also a first responder, so we take, like, first day off. We'll take about an hour, talk about things we saw, things we did. We'll bounce ideas off of each other. And after about that hour of talking, having our coffee, then we're done for the day of talking about work, and then we move forward. So I feel like that helps a lot, too, with some of the things we encounter here on this job.
Well, so we talked about stress, but let's talk about something that's been a rewarding experience for you. And Corey, I'll start with you. What has been one of your most memorable or rewarding experiences that you've had?
Well, anytime you take a call or send units on a run to assist somebody and save a life or change, you can change it for the better quickly. I think the first time I worked here and saw my run on the news and, you kind of see, hey, this is real life. This really does help people. That's very rewarding. I think sometimes you can get lost behind the screens in here and just remember that you really are helping people that are probably either having their worst day or sometimes like, the birth of a child or something like recently we've had. It can be their best day. We've had not too long ago a birth on the expressway on the side of the road that, fire and EMS assisted us with. So days like that you always remember, and it's nice to see, and remember that you're part of it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Carmen?
So, yeah, I will say that, too. A big part of this job, it's when we see people at their worst, a lot of times it's the worst day of their life. And when we're involved, a lot of times people don't remember those things. So when you do have a run where somebody remembers you, and for me, mine, I feel like will always be, this has been several years ago, we had an infant cardiac arrest. And if you don't know what a cardiac arrest is where someone is pulseless and they are not breathing. So we had a child who was not breathing, didn't have a pulse. Parents are calling, they're frantic. This was so long ago, we did not have our fancy computer system. We had maps that we had to scurry and look for where we were heading.
Oh, my goodness.
So, so that added on top of the pressure. Well, we found where we were headed, got there. We were able to perform CPR. Halfway to the hospital, this child started crying. We were able to get a pulse. And it happened early in the morning, so I did not realize this, but it ended up being a fellow paramedic's back neighbor. And she told her, she said, hey, the crew came out, told her all about it. And every year, for at least 10, while she still lived there, every summer I got to see him jumping on the trampoline up and over to tell me hi and his mother to give me updates on how he was doing and where he was at in life and to thank us again for saving her child. And for me, I think that will always be my hero story that I like.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, our time is ending. I'd like to end with you giving us some words of advice to someone who's aspiring to be the first responder. What would you tell that person?
I would definitely tell them, if you are looking and you want to enter this job, or you just even want to do a little ride-along to see what it's about, if you see a first responder out, talk to them. Come up to us, ask us about it. I will be happy to lead you in that direction. And if you come out and you do a ride time or two, or you just feel like you want to get your feet wet and you just want to jump right on in, we'll get you put in those links. Don't be afraid. I tell my kids all the time, and when I help out with the academy, nobody ever got anywhere in the world with being afraid all the time. So don't be afraid. You never know what you miss if you don't try. So come out, talk to one of us, look it up online, and try it out. And if you don't, this also, too, leads to branching out to other. We have had people who started off as EMTs who are now nurses, doctors, moved on to other fields. So you might end up liking something else, but at least give it a try. At least reach out.
And we also have job shadowing opportunities. If you want to call us and just kind of hang out, see what the job is, we'll let you sit with one of our dispatchers or call takers. We can set that up for you, and you can see if that's something that you want to, involve yourself in a career, just like EMS has ride-alongs. We don't ride anywhere, but you can come sit and listen with us and watch what we do in person.
Well, that's perfect. And before we go, would you please give out the web information or contact information for someone who wants to follow up and to learn more about EMS and Metro Safe, and even the career opportunities with your department?
Yeah, if you go to LouisvilleKY.gov, that's LouisvilleKY.gov. I think both of our pages are on there under Emergency Services. We have every part of our job description is in there, and even how to apply, I believe, there's a link on there as well.
The last time I saw that, you are able to each link either department and does give a brief description of what the job entails.
Perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you both this afternoon. Again, and thank you for what you do for this community. Your both jobs are, I'm sure, just very stressful. It can be very stressful, but we need more people like you working to serve our community. So thank you for all the work that you do. And anytime you want to come back on the show, if you have something that you want to promote to the community or just talk more about what Metro Emergency Services does, please feel free to come back. Let me know, and I'll get you scheduled to come back on the show.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I want to thank our listeners. Please tune in next Wednesday between 2 and 2:30 for another edition of Metro Matters.
Thanks for tuning in to Metro Matters. Louisville is so much stronger when we are engaged, involved, and connected. Each week, we will have a Louisville Metro representative in to talk about various city programs, initiatives, and what's going on in Louisville Metro. Tune in next Wednesday between 2 and 2:30 for the next edition of Metro Matters.